Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Combine. And after a very poor week of college and NFL football, everyone in Hitting the Field Network received several texts that I would say are anonymous, but they weren't. They came from Phillip Powell, who's sitting right next to me that will be introduced in the following segment. But it was all about how the refs are horrible, the refs did this, the refs did that. The refs completely just handed the game to Philly. Boy who cried ref. But, luckily we're not talking NFL, so we don't have to hear him ramble on anymore. We're going to be talking NBA all day, so don't go anywhere because we'll be right back.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
Welcome back, and joining me is Jack Hanzal, Ezrah Hines, and of course, Phillip Powell. And today we're going to be talking a few players in the NBA who have reached more or less a fork in the road, whether it's injuries or they're getting a little older or they stink. They have two paths they could take, whether it's good or bad. We're going to be discussing which path we think they're going to take. And so I'm going to throw it straight into Mr. Ezrah Hines. I believe you have PG. What do you got for me?
I did have PG, and his two comparisons were Brandon Roy and Dwayne Wade. I kind of understood where we were going with this, so I'm just going to say he can't technically be anything like Brandon Roy at this point. I understand the injuries and stuff, but he's already played most of his career out. He's 33, 34 years old now. It's just he's going to retire, probably going to be a Hall of Famer when he retires. I think he'll take the Dwayne Wade path. The Dwayne Wade path I thought of would be, is he going to accomplish anything as the second option like Dwayne Wade did? Obviously in Miami, he was the first option, still accomplished something, but when LeBron came, he took the back seat and became the second option. I think Paul George could do something similar with this Clippers team with Kawhi Leonard. And if he does, this Clippers team, if they stay healthy, can be very, very, very good for a long time. So I think he's by far closer to Dwayne Wade, not in game-wise, but in that sense, than he is to Brandon Roy because of all the injuries. And I think if he were to retire today, he'd still be a Hall of Famer, let alone at the end of his career. So yeah, he completely defeats Brandon Roy's case.
As a nitpick, I think saying that if the Clippers team stays healthy might be the most just exaggerated phrase ever, because it just doesn't happen. So
that's a long shot.
I was about to ask you, what team does Paul George get traded to be a second option to win a championship? Because it will not be the Clippers.
Oh, you're tripping. You think they're trading him? He's on.
Well, no, they won't, but he won't win one as a Clipper.
He may just be ring chasing. He may just be ring chasing.
He's not ring chasing.
He's also on the last, well, technically not yet.
But I do think the injuries have plagued him.
For sure. He broke his leg in half.
I imagine they will continue to plague him, unfortunately.
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know. Anyone's guess, but, come this season when Paul George all of a sudden get carted off the field, carted off the court.
Wow.
You know what I mean.
To be fair, he has not played. Yeah, he has not played.
That is harsh.
Since he's been on the Clippers, he has not played over 60 games one time. So that's kind of I see the vision, but I think he'll still be fine.
Yeah. Moving along, I have a big, beefy boy who absolutely just ballooned up real big, just showed up 1 year absolutely jacked and huge.
He's a little thinner now.
I am talking about Zion Williamson. He is a very, very big man. And his good path that was set here was Shaquille O'Neal, which I think is just a tiny bit ridiculous.
Really?
I think Zion Williamson could have, an excellent career. You can't even put him in the same conversation as Shaquille O'Neal. Like Shaq was just a different breed.
Well, he is top 10, so.
That's he's a different breed. But they had his negative player being Greg Oden.
I can see that.
I decided to do some research on Greg Oden over I found
Ohio
out
State.
State.
This guy played 3 seasons in 6 years. Mm-hmm. And although he averaged pretty decent stats, he was garbage town. I don't think there's any way Zion Williamson is falling as low as Greg Oden.
Saying Greg Oden is bad is just not correct at all.
3 years.
He quite literally had the worst knee injury ever in history. He walks on crutches to this day because of it.
I did not know that. Apologies to Greg Oden. We love you and your game. But I don't think there's any way Zion Williamson is getting up to the Shaq level. I think he's going to be more centered in the middle. I think he's just going to prop up a lawn chair at that fork in the road, just sit there for the rest of his career. I don't think he's going to take the good or bad path. Moving along, I want to pass it to somebody who's had ridiculous takes pre-show. Mr. Phillip Powell, you have Trae Young.
Sorry, I heard ridiculous takes.
Okay.
What do you got for me?
Jack Hanzal, but okay. So now Trae Young, they have the good at Steve Nash. Honestly, I don't see Trae Young and Steve Nash game are not similar. They're not. I'm sorry, his good is more like Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is a surefire Hall of Famer. Let's be honest. So if you want to go to Hall of Fame route, sure, compare him to Steve Nash. But yeah, no, it's more like Stephen Curry. The Kemba Walker, I can see, but Kemba Walker, he really wasn't a bust. He was just he was a good player on a very bad team. We all know that.
Read the description. It's just talking about, will his talent be wasted?
Oh, I see the description. I'm sorry. Come on. I don't have my glasses on. I'm sorry. Yeah. Just like the refs, they didn't have the glasses.
Who did his graphics?
He's still talking about the refs.
But, I honestly, I don't see the Hawks trading Trae Young unless it's going to be probably a Dame situation, where they're going to try to build around him and it's not going to work out, and then his year's going to be wasted. So he's going to probably get traded when he's like 33, 30. How old Trae Young is right now?
He's probably like 24, 25, 26.
24. Yeah, he's going to be on the Hawks for a while before he gets traded. But they're not going to win anything.
I kind of disagree. I low-key think he'll get traded relatively soon if they don't start winning games. I think this is his make or break year. And next season, he'll go into next season. They're either going to start off really good or really bad, and that's going to depend on whether he gets traded, in my opinion.
It's going to be him or DeJounte.
Yep, and I think they're going to choose him low-key because he's an absolute cone on defense.
He is, but hey, Luka Doncic is actually Luka cone.
Speaking of which, Mr. Jack Hanzal, you had Luka Doncic as your player here. What do you got?
I did, and they had the bad being Ben Simmons, which is hilarious, considering Ben Simmons is athletic compared to Luka's not athletic.
What do you mean? Luka has bounce. No.
And then Luka can shoot. My boy up there cannot shoot. And Luka does not play defense, but Simmons does. I think the real fork of the road here is not for Luka. It's for Dallas. They just signed Kyrie to a big deal. And Luka is entering his 7th year in the league, I believe. So if Dallas does not start winning games and advancing far in the playoffs, there could be a scenario where Luka does not want to stay on the Mavericks anymore. That's my fork in the road. He's not LeBron either, so he's not my king.
Well, I don't know. Luka to LeBron was ridiculous to me at first when I looked at that. I don't know if Luka can be LeBron.
I don't know if anybody could be LeBron.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess it's just the fact that Luka kind of does a little bit of everything, and so does LeBron. So I see the vision. Well,
gentlemen, if there's one thing all of us can take away from this segment, it's that if Phil spilled coffee on his shirt, he'd blame it on the refs. So we will be right back in just a minute to talk about our predictions for the division winners for the upcoming NBA season, so don't go anywhere. Jack, buddy, why are you here?
I don't really understand why I'm here. I got called a delusional fan. I just don't understand why I'm delusional if I think Kirk Cousins had the best mustache in the league.
Well, Jack, buddy, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but I don't think anybody looks cool in handlebars.
But they're back, man. They're back.
They're not. They're not. Sometimes you just got to face the hard truth. It's right there in front of you. All these people, they're calling you delusional, but sometimes you got to worry about, am I projecting? Is it me? And in this
Let me
case,
tell you something, bud. It could never be me. Anything I say is factual and truth, and that's why the Vikings are going 16-1 this year.
Organization, you have to look at your roster and say, I've had Kirk O'Thuggins for 6 years. Maybe it's time to move on.
There is no moving on from Kirk Thuggins and Justin Jefferson.
Do you think that maybe this all started just because of a little disappointment?
Nothing has started. This is how I live, and I am not delusional. I'm a prophet.
Welcome back to the Combine, and joining me is Maddie Glass, and once again, the lovely, the gorgeous Ezrah Hines. And so, when I was sitting at home today, thinking about the segment, I was thinking to myself, you know what? Every pick that I've ever given in my life has come true. You know, I must be a fortune teller, so I got to go out and get 2 other fortune tellers and know what they're talking about. So, went out and got Miss Maddie Glass and Mr. Ezrah Hines, and today we're going to be throwing out some hot takes, well, maybe a little bit of hot takes, but on what we think is going to happen in the upcoming NBA season, who we think is going to win each division. And I don't want to say it's, like, too difficult, because it seemed like it was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
When I was looking at it.
Divisions don't really matter in the NBA. It's not like football where, like, if you win division, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. It's kind of like they're just in these groups.
It's like, you can be over here, but just for fun.
I mean, but if, like, Golden State finishes above the Clippers, and, it matters in that way.
So, Miss Maddie Glass, I believe
Yeah.
yours is one of the only ones that I sat and thought about for a second.
Really?
In the Pacific.
Okay.
Really?
Western Conference Pacific, who do you got winning?
I picked the Phoenix Suns. I know it's like they are dangerous because of the injuries, but when you have Beal, Booker, Durant, I think like if you have 2 of those, you're guaranteed to win a lot of games. So I have them, and they don't have bad depth. It's pretty they made some good signings, and I just think like this is the best division in basketball, I would say. So they're gonna beat up on each other, but I think the Suns are gonna come out on top, just because I like the Warriors. I like the Warriors. They have a lot of question marks with just their size, and they're kind of old. Lakers, you never know how many games AD is going to play or how many games LeBron is going to play, and same goes for the Clippers, even more hardcore than the Lakers. And then the Kings, their defense is really bad. So even though they made the playoffs last year, I just think they might struggle a bit this season with more depth in the Western Conference.
And I think this entire division, one big name injury and it gets turned on its head.
Yeah, I mean, this is a division of stars.
Yeah.
Every team has a star-ish. So it's going to be fun to watch, I think. I think these games are going to be so competitive, and hopefully we get some bad blood going and some rivalries.
You just said bad blood because it's a Taylor Swift song, didn't
I
you?
didn't, but that is a Taylor Swift song.
I swear. Even on HTFN, we can't escape Taylor Swift. She's coming to get us.
Ty
Mr.
always wants to
Ezrah
talk about
Hines.
football.
You had the Southwest.
I did.
What are you thinking?
I feel like this is probably the easiest decision here,
I
in my
disagree.
opinion. The Memphis Grizzlies, even without Ja Morant for 25 games,
25.
are still going to be a very, very reliable team. I don't have faith in this New Orleans team. They deal with injuries just as bad as any other team in the league, especially like the Grizzlies, who just lost Steven Adams for the season. But the only team that's really competitive is the Pelicans, in my opinion. They already just lost Trey Murphy for the season, or for a good portion of the season.
Yeah.
They also, obviously Zion's a question mark. Brandon Ingram plays 60 games a season. I'm just not a believer that this New Orleans team is going to be better than this Grizzlies team. And the Grizzlies team has very good depth, too. Even guys like Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart just came in. Brandon Clark, even though he's going to be out for a little bit at the beginning of the season, they're still going to be fine. They're going to be really good in this division. There's not really many competitive teams. Yes, I know I haven't even brought up Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah.
But that's because them playing together didn't really look great last season, so it's not going to look great this season, in my opinion.
And I think the biggest thing with this team that I saw was that the oldest player on that starting 5 is 29 years old. It's Marcus Smart. It's a really young team. The next oldest is 25 years old. It's ridiculous to me. But I want to move on to mine in the Northwest because this was the easy pick. I think it's going straight to Denver. And I mean, the big 3 is still there. The big 3 is still ridiculously good.
Who's the big 3
Yeah,
in
who's
Denver?
your 3?
Jokic, Porter Jr., and Murray.
Oh, thank God you didn't say Aaron Gordon.
If you would have said Aaron Gordon, I would have had problems.
Aaron Gordon's not bad.
No, he's good. He's
No,
good.
he's a
but
good
he's
player.
not. He's not. He shouldn't
He's
be
not
like
big three
three
material.
Yeah.
No, but the Nuggets' big 3 is one of the best in the league. And coming back from last year, I think they're ridiculous. I do know Minnesota is a bit of a sleeper right now. I do think they could make a little bit of a splash. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not finishing above the number.
Not above Denver.
And OKC didn't look too bad. I was going over it,
think
but I
OKC
do
is
think
gonna be good.
OKC has a lot of hype. I'm predicting them to disappoint.
I do
don't
think
think
they
so.
need a little bit of time. I think
No
if you give them a little
doubt.
bit of time, they'll be good.
A lot of expectations, and that sometimes doesn't go well.
Well, moving on.
Yes.
Miss Maddie, you have the Atlantic.
I think this was the easiest pick. I'm going with the Celtics winning the Atlantic. The only competition, I mean, you have Philly, but
New
they're
York
a
Knicks.
mess. The Knicks are not a competition for the 1 or 2 seed in the East. So I think the Celtics are going to be the number 2 or number 1 seed in the East. They replaced Marcus Smart and Grant Williams with Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, and those are better players. I know everyone's like, oh, they lost Marcus Smart. He's the heart of the team. I'm a Marcus Smart non-believer. I think he caused a lot of issues on the court. He's a little bit of a ball hog. Great defender, but you're replacing him with Drew Holiday, who's better. And then they traded Time Lord too, but who's Robert Williams. But he's injured half the time, so it doesn't even matter. And Kristaps Porzingis is better than him and Grant Williams. So, I'm not even worried about the injuries with Kristaps because Tatum and Brown, they're going to win a lot of games either way because they play a lot of games. Nobody else in this division is winning this division. Philly has the best chance because they have the best players.
No,
but
it's not the New York Knicks, Ezrah Hines. I'm so sorry.
We'll see.
I'm going to make mine super quick because we all know the answer to this. Central Division is going to Milwaukee.
Detroit Pistons.
I was thinking.
Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, no, it's got to
But
be Milwaukee.
I mean, it's freak time in Milwaukee, baby. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard are going to be disgusting against defenses this year.
I think they're going to be worse than we think, but we'll talk about that later.
No, we won't. It's not going to happen. They're going to be amazing.
Yeah, we got to.
Replacing Drew Holiday's defense is going to be really difficult for this team.
That's very
Aren't
fair.
they starting Malik Beasley?
No, it's Pat Connaughton, unfortunately.
Oh, that might be worse.
Malik Beasley, but I don't think he's starting. But I don't think it's up for debate. I think Milwaukee's taking this, and we're not taking any suggestions from the audience. So Ezrah Hines, you have the Southeast. What do you got for me?
I do. I'm going with the team that finished 7th in the conference last season, but still higher than every other team in the division, and that is going to be the Miami Heat. So yeah, I'm not a believer in the Atlanta Hawks, and they're possibly the only team competitive here with them. I love the Orlando Magic. I think they'll be great. Not up to the Heat standards, unfortunately.
The Heat has this. Maybe the Hawks, if they have a good.
The Hawks are not.
I don't know.
The Hawks don't have enough.
The Heat mess around in the
Firepower.
regular season. So.
You know what it is? They still did better.
This guy right here. It's Himmy
They were-
Butler.
The Hawks beat them in the play-in, so technically didn't the Hawks finish above them?
The Heat made the finals.
Jimmy Butler is in the
Okay.
locker room pregame listening to "Tonight is the night that I fall for you." So it's gonna happen. The Heat are going to do it. But I want to thank y'all so much for coming on. You can come back to this same segment in about 3 or 4 months just to make sure we got it right. We're going to get it right. But we'll be right back in just a second with another, a guy who hates refs, and we'll see. We'll see you then.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Dominic Mullen. Welcome to Hitting the Field Network. Our first show that you're going to see on YouTube is Hitting the Field Main Show, hosted by yours truly on Mondays at noon, where you'll see me with a fresh fade and fresh news. I'll also be talking a little bit of the hottest topics in sports, and we are going to be arguing mainly on there. On Tuesdays at noon, you'll see Isaiah De Anda Delgado and Ty Paton on the Combine. Just more of a podcast, laid-back style of a show. And if you're looking for the most creative segment ideas, head on over there on Tuesday. On our off day, don't forget to check out the studio vlogs on Wednesdays. Andrew Montano does a great job of giving a little bit of the behind-the-scenes look into Hitting the Field. Moving to Thursdays, speaking of Andrew Montana, him, Phillip Powell, and Ezrah Hines lead the way on HTF Bets. The Bets boys always come dressed to impress, and if you're looking to win some money and catch up on the latest betting lines, that's the show for you. On Fridays, you're going to head over and see Maddie Glass and the always wrong Tyler Brownrigg on Nighttime to break down everything about college sports. If you go to UCF or are interested in UCF sports, this is the best place for you. Sorry, Tyler. Our newest show here at Hitting the Field on Saturdays is Girl Talk, hosted by Kirsten Blaylock and Lexi Zolo. The all-female hosted show tackles breaking news all across the sports world and as well reliving the history and current state of your favorite team. Check that show out Saturdays at noon. Again, I am your main show host, Dominic Moeller, and if you're enjoying this content, don't be afraid to subscribe to our Hitting the Field YouTube and check out our Instagram. But for now, that's all. I'll see you on main show. Take care.
Phil is once again losing his mind. He sniffed too much glue, and he's saying that the refs are the cause of everything bad in this world.
Probably is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about 5 players who are currently playing, who we are going to rank on the all-time list in their respective positions. And I want to jump right in because Phil saw my list a little bit too early.
I did.
And a little bit of a debate pre-show, and I think this is going to be a little bit fun. So we're starting off with Mr. Russell Westbrook and the point guard all-time list. I want to start with Phil. I want to work my way around.
Okay.
We're going to see where we each have him on the all-time point guard list. Phil, what do you got?
Oh, I got him top 5, but I kind of want to jump to your list. Please.
You want to jump to mine?
Yes. Name them. Yes.
I have Russell Westbrook sitting at 11. Look at Phil shaking his head. No, sir. No, sir.
No,
11.
I can't lie.
Who?
That's a little low for Russ.
All right, now,
Okay.
who you got?
Who I got? Okay.
Yes.
Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Easy.
All right.
Oscar Robertson. Easy.
Okay.
Steph Curry. Don't shake
Okay.
your head.
Okay.
Oscar,
I wouldn't say easy, but
Jerry
okay.
West. Isaiah Thomas. John Stockton.
No.
Steve Nash.
No.
CP3.
No.
CP3's had more time in the league. He's had more time to do his thing. Give Russ a few more years. Maybe I'll have him jump a little
See,
bit.
I still say no to that. And CP3 had more time.
I listen.
But keep going, because keep
Listen.
going.
You're going to love this one. Gary Payton.
No.
That's just not right.
That was horrible.
Jason Kidd,
That's
baby.
also
No.
just not right.
Jason Kidd jumped over Russ just because of a little handlebar stash going on. You know
That's
that
what
was the
is.
reason right
Oh,
there.
No. I'm sorry. Russ will. He'll
And
be.
then
He'll
CP3's
end it.
11.
Nah. Russ is top 5. I'm sorry.
He's not. He's not.
He's not top 5.
He's number 7 on my list.
I could argue sneaking him into the top 10.
He's number 7.
Sneaky?
No, he's definitely top 10. He's number 7 on my list. I have, like you said, Magic,
Yep.
Okay.
Stockton,
Oscar,
Oscar,
Jerry,
Steph, not Jerry,
not Jerry, Stockton.
Isaiah Thomas, and Steve Nash above him. So he is 7th on my list. Yes, that means he is better than CP3. in
What
my
did
opinion.
Stockton do so great though? Besides this, like
One.
assists, like I mean,
Literally the assist and steal leader ever. And was literally the reason that the Utah Jazz were ever a big team in history.
so it wasn't Karl Malone.
Bro, if you think Karl Malone was doing that on his own, it was Stockton creating stuff for him. Their pick and roll was the exact reason for Karl
understand.
Malone ever being good.
I still think Russ
If
is
Karl
past.
Malone never had John Stockton, he would never
So
be
you're
have been as
basically
good
you're
as he was.
basically saying so you put
11.
7.
no. So you're putting John Stockton over Russ due to the fact that because of his stats. That's what I'm hearing.
Russ
Gentlemen,
is good. Russ
gentlemen,
is only
gentlemen,
good because of his
gentlemen,
stats.
As much as we can yell about this all day, we'll talk after the show.
Okay.
We got more position groups to worry about, and we're going to jump right into the shooting guard. And we have a man with a fantastic beard by the name of James Harden. Ooh. Phil, where do you have him ranking on your list of shooting guards?
Honestly, he's top. He's actually probably number 5. If I had to think about it. No. Like no. You think about it. Like
No.
how they got him this.
Let him cook.
How
Let him
they
cook.
how they got it displayed. You know, it's actually perfect. I say you got Jordan, then you got Kobe, Dwayne Wade, then AI, then James Harden.
That's
I have
where
the
you're
same
wrong.
exact list.
That's where you're wrong.
I have the literal same
You
list.
put James Harden over D Wade.
No, over Allen Iverson. He's 1,000% better than Allen Iverson. He's done
But why?
And literally every aspect of James Harden's game is better than Allen Iverson's. Allen Iverson's main part of his game was isolation and dribbling. James Harden's literally better than him.
Reason why I put
He's better than him stat-wise. He's won an MVP just as well as Allen Iverson has. Literally everything James Harden has is Allen Iverson's game, but better, but like far better.
I put AI in front of James Harden due to the fact AI took a team to the finals, and James Harden had a better team than AI, and he couldn't reach the finals.
James Harden's been in the finals before.
Well, yeah, he wasn't a main guy though.
He was the third option.
Still wasn't a main guy. Like I'm talking about the number 1 option.
Okay. Well,
Where-
I could go as far to say that he would have made it the 1 year that Chris Paul got injured, but we'll move on to a different argument.
Where did you have Allen ranking on your list, by the way?
5th. Allen Iverson would be right behind James Harden.
You had Harden in fourth?
Yes, Harden's fourth.
Respectable. Understandable. I could get behind it, but I won't. So we're going to move on to our small forwards. And we have a lovely bird by the name of Kawhi Leonard on this list. I don't know. I was doing that laugh yesterday.
I was like, what is you doing?
It's so much fun to do for no reason. So I'm going to start off real quick. I have him breaking into the top 10. I have him sitting at 8.
You have 7 better small forwards than Kawhi Leonard?
I do.
Do you have Scottie Pippen above him?
I do.
That's incorrect. That's just incorrect. That's just not correct at all.
It's not.
I hate to break it to you, dog. That is
If you take
very
away
much
Kawhi
wrong.
injuries, he's packed.
Don't take away Kawhi's injuries. Take away what Kawhi's just done altogether. You can include the injuries. Kawhi is still better than Scottie Pippen
Yeah, that's true. I'm
by
sorry.
a pretty decent margin as well. I think he's 5th. I think he breaks into the top 5. He is 5th on the dot. The only people better than him are Larry Bird.
Mm-hmm.
You have LeBron, obviously.
Okay.
LeBron's number 1. Kevin Durant, and I would have Julius Erving above him.
This is fair.
And that is it, in my opinion. I think he's better than Elgin Baylor. I think he's better than Scottie Pippen.
I have
Kawhi
Elgin
is
Baylor
top 5.
over him.
You have
Name what Elgin Baylor has done that's better than Kawhi.
He's Elgin Baylor, but I'm being given a sign that we need to move on
Okay.
because we keep arguing and it's not getting us anywhere. We need to agree on one, all three collectively, and let's hope it's going to be the power forward
is that the
position.
mailman y'all trying to do?
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Where do
Okay.
we have him sitting?
3rd. I have him
Third?
3rd.
Yeah, I have him high too. I have him like at least like 3rd. Yeah, 3rd or 4th. Yeah.
Where do you have him, Ty?
Where, Ty, come on.
Ty,
Don't
where do you
this,
have
Ty.
him?
You have him at 5?
I have him at
Okay,
5.
top 5. I thought you were going to scare me and say like 7.
No.
Who's your 4?
Dirk.
He's better than Dirk.
You think he's better than Dirk?
He's better than
Dirk.
Dirk.
He's better than Dirk. I'm sorry.
He's
I
already.
also think like Giannis is still relatively young. Like he still has
Yeah.
time to play in the league.
He's
Oh,
like
yeah, for
28,
sure.
29. Yeah, he got time. Yeah.
Okay, but I think we're relatively on the same page on this one.
Yeah, this is probably the closest we'll get.
I'm
other than the
happy
shooting guard.
with this one, which
You got
Before we
Charles
get into
Barkley
the-
in front of him?
I do not.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm about to say, I'll
Okay.
make
I
sure.
can sleep at night.
Okay.
I have Charles sitting at 6 though.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, moving on to center. Center's a stacked position.
This
Very.
is actually a tough one.
Jokic, I have sitting at 9.
I have him at 8.
He's like, I have him at 1.
No, I don't got him at 1. I don't got him at 1. I kind of have him around like 7 to 8 range.
Okay.
7, I think, is a little high.
7's a little high.
I mean,
I can name 7 better.
because, all right, let's get the obvious.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have Kareem,
Kareem, yep.
Wilt,
Yep.
Bill,
Yep.
Shaq,
Yep.
Hakeem,
Yep.
Hakeem. Yeah,
David
that's 5
Robinson.
right there. David
Moses.
Moses.
Not
Yep.
Moses.
Moses.
You
You
know
do
Moses.
not know Moses Malone if you don't think he's
I
better.
know Moses Malone, but I don't know.
He's 1,000% better.
Like,
Right
And then-
now,
and
as of
then-
right
and
now,
then-
yes,
and
he's
then-
1,000% better.
I have David Robinson.
Yep.
yeah,
And I
okay.
have Pat.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing. Okay. That's an interesting.
You
one.
have Patrick Ewing.
Yes.
Even this Knicks fan don't agree with
Also,
that.
right before the show, I watched a Snickers commercial in which some guy came out with a Snickers bar and he was like, "Oh my God, is that Pat Ewing?" And then Pat Ewing
I
just
don't
dunked on this guy,
know.
and I was like, "Let me move."
You know what? You know who I got
He's
over?
just-
You know who
I
I
love this
over
guy.
Patrick Ewing? I got Dwight Howard over Patrick Ewing.
Dwight Howard was a guy I had an honorable mention.
Very, very fair. Bob McAdoo.
Bob
No.
McAdoo. Oh my God.
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
but gentlemen, I believe this is all the time we have for the Combine today. I want to thank you for joining me, talking NBA. Ezra stuck for 3 different segments. That's
3.
ridiculous. Purple Heart, Medal of Honor, you deserve all of it, bud. I appreciate you,
Thank you, my
like I
guy.
appreciate Air. Phillip Powell, thank you again for coming on, and we will see you again at the same time next week, hopefully talking NFL. Have a good one, and we'll see you then.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to